And Frank asked me to speak tonight. It's one of these things, watch out what you wish for. Some people that know me might have advised you on that, but he asked me to talk a little bit different angle on this, a little bit more where it can personalize to everybody in this room, and it's a subject in which I've got a great deal of passion and many years of dedication. My wife, Sam, will confirm whenever I go on a business trip, 5 continents, 27 countries over my career, grab a handful of these Declaration of Independence and constitutions, and usually come back with most of them given away in some country or another, and talking to people around the world about this subject. So there's a night clerk in a hotel in Brussels, and a Chinese taxi driver in Kuala Lumpur, and a bartender at Copacabana Beach that I hope are reading the Declaration and the Constitution sometimes, and many others like that. And really, as close as we are to Independence Day, I think it's important to really look at what's at stake here, and I want to bring it to you each personally when I'm finished, and really get a call to action. You're all familiar with the famous phrases out of the Declaration of we are endowed with certain unalienable rights by our Creator, among these life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And there's pretty easy to get onto the web and look around and find out that while there's a lot of reasons why Jefferson chose that particular set of phrases, it's pretty common. About 90% of his writings and speeches, he used the terms life, liberty, and the pursuit of property, and happiness and security, among other things. And this derived from some strong philosophical basis that the Founding Fathers got from a late 17th century philosopher named John Locke, who presented a concept of natural law. And I would hesitate to quibble with Stephanie, especially since he's close enough to me to kick me now, that while the Constitution is the highest law of the land, it's the highest civil law of the land. And natural law is actually a higher order of law. And the concept of natural law is that it is not something that is given to you by a government, granted to you by a power. It is something endowed to you by the Creator, whatever that means to you. And property, I would contend this, that you cannot have a natural law right metered out to you. Civil laws, yes, even in civil laws, though, it's not majority rule. That's not the form of government we have here. The founders despised and feared democracy as one of the worst forms of government that you could possibly pick. I like to refer to it as 51 wolves and 49 sheep voting on what's going to be for lunch. It's the tyranny of the majority. We have a representative republic where our representatives, as John said, represent us. And they represent us in our duties as citizens and in our rights endowed by our Creator. And so even if a majority should choose something that is in fact in violation of the natural rights that are endowed to us, that our representatives are obligated to vote against that majority sense under the law, and the sense of the law which is founded in our, finally in our Declaration of Independence. I would make the case that property is really life. If you think about it, how do you obtain property, whether it be intangible like money or a check from somebody or intellectual property or land or a car or food? By expending your personal life energy and making it concrete in some way that's productive and valuable to another person for which they exchange property for that productive use of your life energy. And you get the one life, and one day every day, and it's gone. And if you expended that energy productively, and you got property in return for that, and it's taken from you, it's taken a slice of your life you'll never get back. And so really, you've really got to take this personally and seriously, that this is what's fundamentally at issue here, is the taking of personal property, is the taking of life energy. And I would just, in calling out to you individually here to participate, call out a famous result supposedly from a survey, a public opinion survey of civic participation The question was, what's the biggest problem in civic participation, ignorance or apathy? One answer was, I don't know and I don't care. And I contend you don't get the choice of either ignorance or apathy. This endowment is not an inheritance and it's not an entitlement. An endowment is granted for the purpose for which it was intended, and you and I and we all, I contend, have a sacred obligation to defend it and hold it dear for ourselves and posterity. Thank you.